One mayor in favor of law enforcement and another in favor of communism. Let's discuss. So we have a mayor today who apparently was once a Democrat, now turned Republican, and also saying that American cities need Republicans. Dallas Mayor Eric Johnson is completely in favor of law enforcement, and it shows. Businesses aren't leaving the city, and people are probably relatively happy and safe. In another corner, you have another mayor who apparently is in favor of crime, as he says they just are not being heard and they're just lashing out. They need help. They need guidance. However, instead of solving the root of the problem, he wants to say we should create government-owned grocery stores. Why? Because the businesses that rejected you have left, and we are here to help. People need food. People need medicine. People need a place to go and obtain these resources. So the government's here to assist. See, the Democrats love to create the problem, which is crime-infested cities. And then in the coming years, they want to come out and say that we have the solution. People need to start thinking and being aware of what is being told, what is being given to you on the daily mainstream liberal media. They lie, they race hustle, and they make you feel very emotional. And with that, people tend to lose focus, lose their way of thinking when the emotions are in the frontal focus of our minds. And the Democrats placate that all the time. They use that to their advantage. Grab people by their emotions. Black people, we need to grab them by what is really emotional to them. Race, conflict, how you're being oppressed. These things that they do, the terms that they use, all allow emotions to be the main focus of an individual, not thinking about what is going on, thinking about what is being told to you, thinking about the results of what is happening. And what is happening in Chicago? Crime is at an all-time high. Crime is just disgustingly rampant. And they're using crime as a means of finding a solution, which is government-owned grocery stores, which is communism, because that's the end game here for the Democratic Party. They want to control you. They want the government to control every aspect, every fabric of your life. So before it was all defund the police. Who would have thought crime would have been just skyrocketed the moment you defund the police? But you defund the police because there's racial injustice. Cops are just out here killing and just beating black people up left and right. Mind you, I would like to add, black on black crime is way worse, 10 times worse than any of the crime we've seen. Yet they don't talk about that. No, they don't want to ever talk about that. Why? Because it does not fit their goal, their narrative. Then on the other side, you have another mayor, which I would also like to add they're both black mayors, so there's no racial injustice there. You have another mayor in Dallas, Eric Johnson, who is in favor of law enforcement. So much so, he's turning Republican. I thought Republicans were racist. I thought Republicans were extremists. I thought Republicans were terrorists of America. So why is a Democrat mayor turning Republican? It's a question. That's a valid question to be asked for anyone, but they don't want you to ask these questions. And I guarantee you that Dallas mayor that is now turning Republican, a lot of different things are going to be being told about him, being said about him by the Democratic Party. He's no longer in line with the Democratic ideology, because if you are a black person in America and you are not a Democrat, you are a coon and you are a sellout and you can't think for yourself. But it's ironic, isn't it? How black people in Chicago don't think for themselves, apparently. They're complaining that businesses are to blame for them leaving, that they don't have any resources. They can't get food. They can't get medicine. And they're happy that Brandon Johnson is providing them the means of obtaining that with government-owned grocery stores. Take a look.
Well, despite that $500 million city deficit, the mayor is exploring the idea of opening a city-owned grocery store to promote food equity.
But as CBS 2's Jermont Terry found out, you won't be able to buy food anytime soon.
He's live in the newsroom to break it down for us. Jermont?
Joe and Erica, this is simply a plan and one done in small cities. But if the city-owned grocery store gets up and running, and that is a big if, Chicago will be the largest city to accomplish this. Tonight, Mayor Brandon Johnson's team explains the need for this push. Many neighborhoods on the south and west sides are without quality grocery stores. Windows are boarded up after private chains moved out. Take this former Aldi at 76 in Ashland and Auburn Gresham. It closed more than a year ago.
All of our stores are closing. And so now we have to go outside of our neighborhoods.
Native Southsider Shelley Williams welcomes any plans to bring grocery stores back. That includes Mayor Brandon Johnson's newest initiative to get the city into the grocery chain business.
So I think that's a good idea that Mayor Johnson is picking up the slack where these big store chains are leaving.
Under Mayor Johnson's proposal, the city would use economic development grants. Yumi Grisby, the administration's policy chief, says the city will team up with an organization to open a city-owned grocery in one of Chicago's food deserts.
And so we are not spending any taxpayer dollars, right? What we're also going to be able to access is the funding that exists at the national level, at the state level.
The major grocery chains claim they left these communities because it just was not profitable. So it begs the question how Mayor Johnson can flip that narrative.
And so it's not necessarily about profitability. It really is about what is the impact on Chicagoans.
How does a grocery store get pushed ahead of crime and safety over other things?
I don't want to say that this is taking a priority. I would like to say that overall, it's not also about a grocery store. What it is about increasing access to healthy options and to food for all Chicagoans.
And while the mayor's office says the grocery store will be funded by grant money, we should note some of the grant money could come from state and federal tax dollars, just not local tax dollars. There's no timeline when this initiative would or could move forward. Live in the newsroom tonight, Jermont Terry, CBS 2 News. Joe and Erica.
Jermont, thank you.
So my question about that is, why can't people ask the more serious question? We all agree that businesses leaving neighborhoods and people not being able to provide the things that they need, food, medicine, yeah, it's bad for everyone. But ask yourself, why are they leaving? They're not leaving because they don't like you. They're leaving because they're losing money. They're leaving because crime is just not being handled. So they're going to move. So yeah, that's Brandon Johnson's Chicago. Then on the other side, you have Eric Johnson, who again is in favor of law enforcement, and he speaks up about it. Take a look.
Primary responsibility of any government is to protect its citizens. If Dallas residents don't feel secure, our city's other objectives are guaranteed to fail. We've prioritized public safety no matter which way the national political winds blew.
Refreshing, right? Our next guest is bucking the trend on Democrat-run cities that are seeing a surge in crime across the country, but it is not happening that way in Dallas. Arrests, murders, rapes, all down double digits on his watch. So here to tell us about it is the mayor, Eric Johnson, the Democrat mayor of Dallas. Good to see you, Mayor. Good morning to you.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well. Tell us how you're doing this.
Well, I'll tell you what, we've had tremendous success over the past 2 years, in fact, lowering every form of violent crime that the FBI tracks. All forms of violent crime have fallen in Dallas over the past 2 years, and we're in the middle of a third year. Hopefully, we'll end this year with 3 consecutive years of falling violent crime. And it has to do with, I think, 3 main things. We have a great police chief. I think that's critical. You got to have the right person in that role, someone that can inspire their department and make sure the morale is high, because this is a tough job. I think that chief has to have a plan, and a plan is something that's in writing and something that you can actually consult and look at to make sure you're actually staying on course. And our plan involves hotspot policing. It involves focused deterrence, and it actually even emphasizes some non-law enforcement-based strategies that are very important, like remediating the blight in high crime areas and improving the lighting in high crime areas. We have some violence interrupter programs that we've been implementing, and we have this thing called the Summer of Safety, where we actually have been pushing hard our youth into our summer programming that we have throughout the city. And we've done something that no major city in the U.S. ever does, which is we've dropped crime in the summer months. Crime actually falls in Dallas under this plan the past 2 years during the summer months, which is incredible. Wow. Well, and then the last thing is police community relations. You got to have good police community relations.
We
and in
need
Dallas,
to make
our community supports the police.
We need to make a trip to Dallas, right? I mean, your approval numbers at 77%. You bucked the trend on defund the police. You didn't like that idea. Black Lives Matter, they protested against you, and you defied them. You fired people to do it your way. And now you look at these other major American cities. I mean, go ahead and throw a dart. You know, pick the one. They all have these progressive liberal policies, and they're not working.
Okay, so you have 2 very different means of finding a solution to the crime. One says we need more government power, And the other says, no, we just need more law enforcement, more law and order. And look at the difference. Again, it's so different. You have a Democrat mayor turning Republican. That should be the key takeaway here. That should be an indicator that there is something going on. Why would a Democrat in 2023 switch to the Republican Party? The Republicans who are being called racist, terrorists, extremists every single day. Why would a black Democrat mayor turn Republican? That should be another question that you ask yourself. In this racial divided country, why would that happen? It doesn't make any sense. Or does it? It makes perfect sense. The Democrats do not care about the American people. They know they would rather care about Ukraine, sending millions of dollars to Ukraine, regardless if a government shut down. But where's that money to our southern border? Where is it? Nowhere to be seen. Instead, they don't care. They want the illegal immigrants to come in. And then when it gets too crazy, when it is just too much, we cannot handle it. They step in and say, you know what, we are going to help. We're going to provide funding for aid, for care. We're going to give a lot of these Venezuelan illegal immigrants amnesty. We're going to give them homes. We're going to give them jobs so that they can work for 18 months. Then when the ninth month comes around and everyone's kind of forgotten and moved about their life and went about their day, then they're going to come out and say, you know what, we need to give these people the right to vote. They're no longer illegal immigrants. And everyone's going to forget. Everyone's just going to forget what happened 9 months ago. This is what the Democrats do. They play the long game. They use the short game as a distraction, but the long game is their main goal. It's their main thing that they want to accomplish. If they really cared about the illegal immigrants swarming into this country, they would have been stopped it. They would have, hear me out now, they would have built a wall. But hey, I know that's an extreme take. I know that's wild. But what are they doing? Putting barbed wire down? Come on. What is that going to do? I almost feel as if there is something even bigger going on than what we are all currently seeing. I don't know what that is, but I do know that there is something going on. Something bad is happening in this country. Something dark. And I don't think we're all ready for that yet. I don't even think we can see it. And I love asking questions and I love trying to see things that we don't normally see, but I can't see it. There's so much crap that we're dealing with that is so hard to dissect and find the way through the root of what is really the goal. The Democrats love to placate, twist words, manipulate, gaslight every single day. It's so bad that it's noticeable. More and more people are waking up to the bull crap because it is so extreme. It is so rampant. It is just so out there that they're not even hiding it. And a lot of people still don't care. Either they don't care, they can't see it, or they're all for it. It's either one of those three. I just think that we should be more vigilant. We should be more aware, more open-minded, ask questions, start really thinking for ourselves as individuals. That's the ultimate freedom that we can all have. And it's the one thing that the mainstream liberal media and the Democrats try to prevent you to do every single day, because it is the ultimate freedom. The freedom to think, the freedom of ideas, whether they are crazy or not. For a human to have these inherent freedoms, it's always funny to me how we just allow the Democrats to just manipulate us every single day, to lie, to trick us into what they want us to do, to trick us into what they want us to feel. But that's all I got for today's video. I hope everyone has a nice weekend, safe weekend, and I will see you all in the next one.